Hey, beautiful divas. This is Shay, your girl, your love diva, with another episode of Love on Command with one of my most awesomest. That's a word. Okay, go look it up in the dictionary. One of my most awesomest Boss Diva students. She graduated. What was it? A year ago, Brenda?
Yes.
She graduated a year ago, but I can't wait for you to hear her story because Brenda was like so many of you out there. She is at the peak of her career doing amazing things. She's successful financially. She has all the things, but she was still unhappy. And I want to be able to take you through this amazing journey that she went through. So without further ado, I want to introduce Miss Brenda. Oh, welcome, Brenda.
Hello. Hi. Thank you for having me, Shay.
Thank you for coming. Can you introduce yourself? Like, who are you? What do you do? What brought you to Boss Diva?
Oh, sure. No problem. So I am, I would say like a senior business analyst, and I work in a financial technology company during the day. And I am a mother of a beautiful blessing of a daughter. And honestly, I came to Boss Diva. Well, I saw you on TikTok, but I was going through a healing journey. I was in, I would say, one of the darkest places I'd never been in my life.
Mm.
I have experienced sadness before. You break up with someone or someone upsets you and you're sad, right? That's fine. You get over it. But this was completely different. This
Mm.
was, not sure if it was hormonal, not sure if it was the pandemic. Maybe it was just everything that stacked together and it's just like popped.
Right.
So I was bedridden for about a year. Like I don't recall. It happened June 1st, and I don't recall anything. Uh, Year 2021. I don't. It was so fast. All I did was lay on the couch and cry, and I was trying to figure out what's wrong with me. And when I went to the doctor said you have anxiety, and I'm like, what is that? I've never heard about, I never heard the word anxiety. I mean, I've heard nervous and I've heard other terms, but anxiety, I'm like, I don't know what that is. So I started looking at YouTube videos and trying to kind of like, how do I get out of this? Like, this is terrible. I'm going to restaurants and I'm crying, and I'm going here and I'm crying. All I did was cry. And there was like a therapist, and I couldn't find one. There was a therapist on YouTube, and she kind of helped me like try to understand it, but there was these emotions that I'm like, maybe I need a boyfriend. That's kind of like where I kind of like looked at TikTok, and I saw you and I said, maybe I need a boyfriend. And I saw you there, and of course I'm like, I like what she's saying, and this kind of resonates. So I got your book. That's kind of how it started.
Mhm.
And I started practicing and stuff like that, but I still couldn't get in control of my emotions. Anything anybody would say, I'm like crying profusely, like just un llanto, a river of tears. I'm trying to say it in
Say it in
Spanish.
Spanish.
un
Say.
mar, un mar de llanto, like
Yes,
an
ma'am.
ocean.
So you came here, you had all these emotions, you couldn't stop crying. Doctor said that you had anxiety. Did he also say you have depression? Because you said you was bedridden for a year. Did you have like a medical illness? Like, what exactly happened that caused you to be
That's
bedridden?
why I didn't understand, because I got checked. I did have like low vitamin D and like low testosterone. There's certain I'm entering my 40s, so it's probably like some hormone imbalances going on. But this was different. This was like depersonalization. Like I wasn't even there. I wasn't eating.
Right.
The food didn't taste right. It was really bad. Yeah, and I think I have gotten a control of like the insomnia and other things, but is the last part was the crying. And I said, maybe I just need a boyfriend, because I had gone through a really
Did the
bad
doctor
breakup.
say that you had depression as well?
He just said anxiety, but I'm crying. I pretty much know that it's
Why were you in the
depression.
bed? So is that why you were in the bed? Like you couldn't get out of bed because you were so sad all the time?
I was uncomfortable. My body, like my nervous system was just firing up. Like really
Mm.
bad. I was like feeling burning sensations. There was like so many symptoms that I was feeling, and I was feeling uncomfortable, and I had intrusive thoughts. I was questioning like, what's the point of feeling like this and having a house and having money? And I got the job finally. I had just gotten hired June 1st, and I'm like, I finally got the job that I wanted, and I can't function.
Can you speak on that? Because there's so many women that are like you. There's women that are 6, 7, and 8 earning women. How how can you not be happy? What would you say to that?
Well, somewhere I was somewhere in there. So I was questioning myself and I said, this is not me. I don't think like this. Something's wrong. You know what I mean? Like I need help.
But when you see that there's other women that are successful like you that have all the money and then they still
Yes.
find themselves sad and they still find themselves unhappy or dissatisfied with their life, but people on the outside are looking like you have all this money, you have the house, you have the things, you should be happy. What do you say to people who don't really understand why somebody like you who has it all is not happy?
I tell people to stop being judgmental because you don't know what that person's going through. Like, honestly, I think this was also for me, it was an experience. I'm kind of glad this happened now, right?
Mm-hmm.
At first, I was like, oh, I can't believe it. I hate this. I hate feeling like this, you know, and I can't live like this. That was one of the questions that I used to ask myself. I can't live like this. And but now I'm like, you know what? I have so much empathy for people, women, and just kids too, you know, people in general when they say they're depressed. Sometimes it's not depression is not just this little superficial sadness, like you feel like, oh, my dog died, you know, okay, a little bit of you're sad, but
Right.
there's this, sometimes it's just so deep. And again,
Yeah.
I've never experienced this in my life.
So
My
then you
life.
come to Boss Diva and
Oh my God.
talk to them about the day you had your one-on-one. Like they need to hear this, what you struggle with, how you struggle with making a decision. Please share all of it, Brenda.
Okay, so I think I joined your I forgot Patreon or something like that, and then you have like some a one-on-one, and of course I'm always like, because I'm a financial analyst too, like I'm a like I do financial coaching on the side, and I'm writing a book about, you know, investing because I've been doing this in my 20s. So um so I'm like, you know, I'm very careful on where I put my money. So I saw that you had a deal, right? You know, I'm always looking for that deal. I'm always looking for coupons and clip,
Right.
you know what I
You
mean?
got in during the day when I did that. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
It's 20,000 an hour for people to work with me.
Oh my God.
So yeah.
So I'm like, oh, look, I can talk to her, right?
Yeah.
And excuse my voice, I'm a little hoarse right now. But anyways, so I said, I went on there and I'm like, okay, let me talk to her. Let's see what's going on. And then basically I was crying again, like literally just pouring. I couldn't stop. I couldn't handle myself. And then I'm like, I'm gonna join. Like you said, yeah, you could join, and you approved. And when you told me how much it was,
Tell them.
I almost passed out. I wanted to throw up. I was like, no, I can't do this. And I'm in my mind, I'm gonna tell respectfully what I said in my mind.
Please.
I said, this lady is fucking crazy.
I
She
don't
don't
even know
lost.
this.
I said, she don't lost her damn mind. I'm like, Brenda Hall. I said, Brenda, I save money. I invest money. I don't just give money to people like that. I'm like, oh hell no. So, you know, you said, let me help you, because I couldn't stop crying, and you're like, you need, like, let me help you. And I was like, I can't do it. It's too much. And I was like, I'm throwing up. I legit started heaving, because that's like, that's one of the things I've always done. I've always, whenever I'm getting into something I can't control, I want to throw up.
And
And
you
not
got
even
really
like,
upset. And
yes.
when I tell you drama, like it was the dramaest of drama. Like, oh my God, I can't breathe. I'm not gonna be able to sleep.
Yes. Yes.
She's crying. And I'm like, okay, listen, I'm going to assign my 2 top certified coaches to talk to you and work with you. And
Yes.
they stayed on the phone with you for like hours. And
Yes.
and then they messaged me and they was like, she's still crying. She's still having doubts. I said, then that's it. No. Remember? And I was like, Brenda,
Yes.
I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna give it to somebody else. And then tell them what you said.
I said, you know, it's just, I come from where I come from, and I come from nothing. When I saw that you were like, okay, I can't, right? Like, I'm not gonna let you in. I'm like, okay, I need to help. Like in my heart, in my soul, I was like, I need to get it together. And this is the last, like, this is my
But
last
why
resort.
us? Why didn't you just try to go somewhere else that was gonna be
Because
cheaper?
I don't know, because I guess my spirit wanted to come to you. So you were meant to be part of this journey, of my healing journey, period. Like there's nothing, no, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I think I just need her. And yeah, so I was like, please, I was like, I want to join. I just come from nothing. I've worked really hard for my money, for where I'm at. Okay. And I know that we both kind of resonate, because we come from that part where we had nothing. And here comes this person. I'm there like, she's trying to steal my money. Like, she's tripping. And then of course I'm like, what am I gonna tell people if they ask me? But you know what? Now I don't give a crap. Excuse me. I just don't, like, I have to say it that way. Like,
So
I'm
like,
not.
look, I have to skip. So I'm gonna skip to the part where I ask you, was it worth it? Was the
Okay.
investment worth it?
Oh, absolutely. 110%. 110%.
Would you do it
Because now,
again?
oh, absolutely. And I was gonna tell you, you need to take away, what did you do to me? Because now I'm investing. Like, if someone says, oh, okay, I'm gonna tell you, I was gonna do something to my face, like facial. If someone said $1,000, $1,500, I'm like, are you crazy? 1,000? Now I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Money is energy, and it's for me, and I'm loving myself, because my soulmate is important, but at that point, it was my mental health. Mental health is definitely, and because I can't, if I'm not emotionally stable,
Yeah,
I'm not available for him.
absolutely.
He's gonna go away, because I'm gonna be crying. You know what I mean? I'm gonna attract the wrong man, as usual. So I have to be emotionally stable in order for me to attract my soulmate.
So then
I would do
talk
it.
to us about, help them to understand, help all the listeners to understand, what was the process that you went through when you were in Boss? Like, what was the work? What did you go through? And what started to change within you?
What I tell people is, you can go on YouTube. You can try to do the work yourself. You're not gonna do it. I'm telling you right now, you're not gonna do it. You're gonna do it for like a week, and then you're gonna stop, because if once you understand the psychology of your brain, and how the patterns, you keep going back and back, and it'll keep bringing you back to your old self. You're not gonna do it. So you need to have the accountability partners. You need to have Shay that was gonna whoop.
Wait, did
Then
I whoop you, Brenda? Talk to them about how.
I hated you. Listen,
What did I tell you? I always say that if you guys don't want to punch me in the face at least once or twice, then I'm not doing my job. There's a few times.
yes, I was doing a
Yeah.
meditation, and I send you blessings, and I was crying, and I said, I'm sorry. Like, I feel bad now in a way, and I'm like, I apologize to Shay, but I know that's part of the process, and you have to deal with a lot. You know what I mean? And I mean, I don't think I ever got, like, I never got nasty with you, but I was like, I would tell
I
my
could see it in your
partner.
face.
Yeah, I would I would tell my partner, like, she don't know me. I could get, the masculine, energy that I would have, and I would be like, I will, the stuff that I was saying. I don't even want to repeat it.
I already know, I can hear it. I would
I'm
even
like,
tell you guys. I would even
I'm
hear
like,
it. Yeah.
yeah.
What was
I'm
it
from the gut.
challenging though? Like, tell them, what was
Oh
it
my
challenging?
God.
What was like
Yes.
triggering in you?
It was very challenging, because you have breath work to do, and that was one of the things that, like, I had to, like, go through, and like, you have all these sensations and emotions. I cried so much throughout the healing process, and it's like a boot camp. It's very intense, very intense. It's a university, guys, but it's
And there's
intense.
things that you're not going to want to do because you're used to
Right.
being in your old habits and your old pattern. And the subconscious mind does not want to move out of its comfort zone. So here I'm in,
Mm-mm.
like, you got to do this, you got to do that. And you're like, I don't want, like, your brain is like, I don't want to. So that makes you angry. So your brain needs somebody to blame. And
Right.
I'm totally okay with being the one to blame. But you're
And
going to do it anyway.
and I'm here. At first, I was like, I don't want to get on a podcast. I don't, because I was feeling uncomfortable. I was still going through the healing journey, even after I graduated. I'm like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to share my story. I don't want to tell people, like, because there was, like, all this shame and stigma. Like, I don't want anyone to see me that I was going through this stuff. You know what I mean? But now I'm
Yeah.
like, wait a minute. I said, no, I'm a professional. An analyst. You know what I mean? Like, I have to have my head just together right? So I could work and continue my life and enjoy my life. And I'm pretty sure like there's a lady out there, a woman out there that is going through the same thing. You know what I mean? And I can't keep quiet. So that's why I'm here. I said, no, I'm done. Screw the patterns. Get in there, girl.
This is the part where we have the invisible hand claps for Brenda. That's amazing, Brenda. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
So tell us what started changing. What changed in you when you went through Boss Diva? What healed?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm just happy overall. I don't cry anymore. I mean, if I do cry, sometimes I'm surprised. I get surprised when I cry. You know what I mean? Because before it used to be like instantaneous, anything. The dog died. I'm watching a movie, I'm crying. My daughter would tell me, "You're always crying. Like you're always, it's affecting my daughter too." And I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that to be that example for my daughter. She's going to college. And I said, well, before that she wasn't, but now she is. And I need her to see her mother, that her mother is happy. Her mother is, just ready for the world again. You know what I mean? And I can tackle anything. I don't want her to see me, late on that couch. Absolutely not. So that change, the femininity change, attracting. Yeah, I'm loving it.
Radiating all that feminine energy.
Let me tell you something. I went to eat last night with a friend. I met up with one of the boss divas, by the way. And can I tell you that we went in there, of course, I got to do my femininity, I gotta make sure. And the waiter kept giving us free stuff. Gave us macaroni and cheese. And I'm like, what? And they gave us dessert. He's like, on the house. And I'm like, we're oozing femininity in this table.
And that's what happens when you have all that feminine energy. You are attracting, you draw it to you.
Yes.
Because you're receptive. You're like a magnet.
I'm enjoying it. I love it.
How's dating now?
Dating is easy. Before I used to get on the apps and I used to delete it immediately. Maybe like, week. Because I would be like, that mentality, like all men are dogs, all men are this, all men are that.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, you know what? He's just not the one. He's not the one. Next, that's it. And I'll go on a date. And if I feel something in my body that, if I feel butterflies, that's like number one. I immediately say, yeah, that's my body telling me something. So I know that I have awareness now of, what to look for. And thanks to your program, because you have it all laid out.
I love it. And how did things change with your daughter and your mom and all
Girl,
of
let me tell you something. I love my family. And Jennifer, you're probably going to see this because you follow Shay. And it's amazing. It's we used to always fight with my family. We're all it's all females. So you know how that is. The estrogen together is like, hey. So, and I whenever someone did something I didn't like, I would lash out, and then it would make the tension even worse. It's like tension, right? So now, because I'm more on I'm leading with my femininity.
right.
I'm like, you know what? It's okay. Take your time. And now we don't even fight. Like we have spent every weekend we go out, we either do a winery, we go to a restaurant and eat with my sisters, and even my little sister, and you're probably watching too, Giselle, she's come along. And before I used to cry because I said, I don't know, I don't think she likes me, like why, or maybe it's because I'm in my 40s and she's 20 and she's 22, and you know what I mean? Like that was
Wait, Brenda, go back because it just froze again.
Okay.
It just froze again. I don't want them to miss it. So you said she used to do what? They'll edit this part too. But she used to do what?
Yeah, my little sister. So we have a big age gap. She's in her 20s. I'm in my 40s. So my thoughts, I was like, why doesn't my little sister like me? Like I really love her. And now that I'm in my femininity more, I just empathize. I listen more, and I just travel differently. I just move differently. And she comes around, and she always wants to be around me. And I even got them all the Roth IRA, and they're listening to me, and I'm like, yes.
I love it.
Wonderful. And with my mom, I've helped her out too, with breaking her patterns, because she comes to me all the time because she's crying, and I already know. I'm like, okay, here comes La Llorona. Like the Lloronas is like the wailers, right? Like you're hired to cry. And I'm like, because that's what I used to be. That's what we all used to do. All my sister, like it was a behavior that
Right.
we all had
A
for
pattern.
years.
Yeah.
Right, a pattern. So now I told my mom the other day when she was crying, I said, did your horse die? She looked at me like, what? What? Kid? I said, did your horse die, mom?
She's
She
using
said,
the interrupt patterns that I taught
yes,
her. Yeah.
yes. And then so a couple months later, I'm like, how you feeling, mom? How you doing? You know, because we talk every day. And she says, well, I was crying. And I said to myself, well, did my horse die? Why am I crying? So she's actually using it herself. So I'm helping heal my family. And I'm forever grateful. And I would do it over and over again.
I love it. What would you say to a diva that's watching right now that's in the same pain that you were in, who has the money, the house, the things, she's successful, but she is unhappy. She's struggling when it comes to love. What would you say to her?
I would say that I understand that I've been there where you feel that anxiety inside you, or the A, but I'm going to say it just so they understand because they won't know what the A is, about the money. You want to keep it and hold it. And actually that's hurting you more because you're not going to be mentally capable of making any type of financial decision or any part of your life if you're not in the right mindset. So again, if you, especially if you can afford it, I already paid off my investment. Like I got like, but my mindset, the healing of my family, it's priceless. So go ahead and do it. I mean, to me, it's just if you can afford it, just do it. Do it.
Right.
And actually it's gonna teach your brain that you're loving yourself.
Mhm.
Right? Because now I'm telling Shay that she put a curse on me because now I spend and it's not that I don't care. It's just like I'm enjoying it because I'll do any seminar and it's just
But you got to tell them this part, Brenda.
what's up?
Brenda, you got to tell them the part about how you started making more and increase. So now you have more so that you can be able to spend more money on yourself. And so something about when you pour into yourself, it just brings more to you.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Okay.
So then the
Yes.
same, yeah, that same lack, because when they're like, oh, I don't want to spend this money, but then I realize when you spend the money, it comes back to you. Like you said, you've already paid off your investment. So it comes back to you multiplied. And it's one time that lasts a lifetime. What it sounds
Right,
like you're
right.
saying, of benefits.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's what's gonna happen this year. It's gonna be, I already know it's coming big, even more than what I had. So I did get bonuses last year when I was going through Boss Diva. I got bonuses, which I wasn't even expecting, to be honest. And we got an increase. So money is coming back. You know what I mean? So you release the money and money comes back. So well, to me, it's worth it. I'll do it over again.
I love it. I wish I could hug
Mhm.
you. Do you have any final words you would like to say?
I just say, just, you know, if you want to enjoy life, if you want to be done with hurting and the pain, you have to invest in yourself and, dive in, baby. Just dive in and you're gonna thank us. How about that?
All right. Now
You're gonna
now since there's people that think I pay people to say these things, were you paid or enticed or given anything in any way for this testimonial?
no, absolutely not. And I wasn't even ready. I'm like, I hope she doesn't even ask me. I'll be honest. I'm like, I really hope she doesn't ask me because I really don't want to go out there and talk. But I'm glad you did because I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm ready. I'm ready to just go ahead and talk about, my story and how I got here. So
I'm so proud
and
of you.
Brian, because you know what it is? It's like sometimes you have negative people like in your family or friends, and it will be like, well, how much you pay for that? Oh, you know what I mean? They'll have all these negatives. So I just
Yeah.
this was me throughout my process because it's my healing journey.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's my healing journey. So, and anyways, it's my money and I can do whatever I want with it. So whatever.
And then there's
That's
that
simple.
part.
That part right
It's so
there.
funny you said that, and I'm so glad you said that because you'll have women that will come and they're miserable. with the same family, the same friends, the same accountant, or whatever excuses they use. And none of them are giving any solutions that is working to make them feel better. But then they will go hear the investment and then go back and be like, oh, it's going to cost this. And when their friends and their family is like, oh, you better not spend that kind of money. And they're like, okay. So then now because their friends and their family, the natural tendency is to keep them on the same vibrational wavelength with them,
Mhm.
which means that that person who came to us is going to stay in pain following the advice of the family and friends that have just accepted and allowed them to stay in that space.
Right,
And the only way
right.
that you can break out of that space is if you break out of the energetic vibration of the pain that is causing, which means you doing something you wouldn't normally do. And that's in saying yes to yourself. And so it's so interesting to me how people would say yes one minute, go tell their mother's like, you better not spend that kind of money. And they're grown women and they're like, oh, I can't invest
And,
this.
and my best advice, and and you tell them in the program, but it's coming from me. My best advice, if you feel that you gotta tell your friends and family, don't. If you want to heal yourself, right here, keep it quiet, because the negative comments is gonna actually affect the program, because then you're gonna start like, oh, I regret it and all this stuff. No, they'll see the change. They will see the change. And my sister sees the change. And she will get up here and tell you she sees the change. And I'm so happy.
And now they're all glad. It's so funny because before, if you would have told them, they'd be like, no, don't do it. But now that you've done it, now they're like, oh my God, I'm so glad. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Because now they're benefiting from you changing.
And I had a therapist. I still have her. I don't have her that often anymore. I mean, I like her, but it's just talk therapy. You're a do therapy and talk. Like you do. That's how I see it. You know what I mean? Like, no, ladies, you're gonna do a lot. You're gonna really tap into your inner self and heal.
Brenda, I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. Do you have any doubt in your mind that you're going to meet your romantic best friend?
Zero,
Mm.
baby, zero. You're gonna be invited.
Can I get the wedding invitation? Make sure.
Absolutely.
And the
Absolutely.
picture. I want the picture and the dress and everything.
Everything.
Y'all heard it here. You heard Brenda, you heard her promise. And we've had another amazing testimonial with an amazing woman and boss diva. And she really gave you a lot of valuable information.
Yes.
It's better when you hear it from somebody else, because when it's me, it's like, oh, that's her. But but when you can hear it from somebody who benefited, then it has even that much more of an impact. And my best advice to you is, at the end of the day, nobody's coming to save you. That's the truth. Nobody's coming to save you. The only one that can save you is you. And the only way you can do that is by saying yes to you. And when you say yes to you, then our hands are open and we're ready to have that conversation to make sure that you're ready, because we won't take you if you're not ready, because I love you too much to do that. But if you are ready and you're willing to do the work, then it's just a matter of you taking the right steps so we can get you to the other side. It's been another episode of Love on Command. Thank you so much for joining us, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye, divas.